Hi, my name is Al Getler, and welcome to another episode of Leader Be Led. You know, we really work hard to find people for you that bring you all kinds of information as a leader. And one of the things leaders are really facing right now is change. And it's more than change, just from the aspect of even how their company runs or how younger people are changing as workers. They're also facing this thing called search engine optimization, inbound marketing, and how all of this stuff comes together to create what we call the new marketing of the world today. It's a very, very challenging subject, and I find that as I talk to people who are leaders of small businesses with just 5, 10, 15, 20 employees, to people who are running major corporations, making their way through this jungle of information that helps us understand what we need to be doing to really address what search engine optimization and content means is becoming a big challenge. So I'm really happy to have a guest today that's going to help us cut through a few of those tall weeds and help us understand what it's all about when it comes to content and search engine optimization. My guest today is a gentleman named Mark Traphagen, and Mark is with a company called Virante, and let's bring Mark up on the screen and say hello to him. Hi, Mark.
Hi, Al. Thanks for having me with you today. Great to be here.
Well, I'm so glad you're here. And now, Mark, you work for a company that specializes in advising and consulting people in this very area of content and search engine optimization. Am I right?
That's correct. And Virante's been in business for over 12 years. We've been specialists most of that time in search engine optimization, which is a technical term some people may not be familiar with. It's just basically helping businesses that are online to get found in search, connecting it up in ways that when people go on search and are looking for the things that a business offers, the products it has, the services it has, that we get their business in front of them at that important moment when those people are searching for them.
Okay, good. And for people like me who are about as smart as a potato, I'm going to even boil that down a little bit further. No pun intended. That when you go in and you Google something, or you Bing something, or you Yahoo something, a certain list of return comes based on the term that you put into that search bar. And so when we talk about search engine optimization, we're talking about getting as high up on that list, if not at the very top of that list, with your content, your company, and who you are. So did I nail that one too, Mark?
You did it well. You're the smartest potato I've met all day. Yeah, basically it's just about Google and the other search engines want to connect people up as fast as possible with the best information for what they're looking for at that particular moment. And what an agency like ours does is to help people with websites to optimization is in our name, to make sure that the website, first of all, is something that Google and the other search engines can understand, that they can index it well, that they can figure out that every clue is there about this is what we're about, this is what we do, this is what we should be ranked for. And then also to try to create an atmosphere out on the web that generates the kind of positive signals that let the search engines know you are the authority on this topic. You're the one that should be connected up with people when they're searching for X, Y, or Z. So again, in a nutshell, that's what we do.
So, I'm someone sitting here watching this right now, and I'm saying, whoa, wait. 2007, the economy went south. As time went on, I started laying some people off. One of the obvious places to do that was my marketing department. So, right now I have someone who's a part-time person doing marketing for me when they get a chance. And now you're talking to me about content and search engine optimization. Where do I begin? So let's start to unpack that a little bit. Companies are now finally coming back around where the bottom line is allowing them to think marketing through a bit more. And when they wake up and they look at this, marketing has changed dramatically. So what is the average company to do? What has your company done when it comes to this?
Well, Al, first of all, it's so important to emphasize the importance of search. Search is where people go these days when they want a piece of information, when they're ready to buy something, when they're researching a product or service that they might want. They go to search first. And Google, again, more than any other, has done a great job of training us to do that way. What do we all do when we say, I want to know about something, or what's the answer to that question? We Google it.
Right.
And so having your business an important part of your marketing strategy, if you are looking for customers online at all, is you have to be doing the things that help you to show up in Google and the other search engines at those critical moments when people are ready either to get more information or
Right.
to actually go and buy something. You want to be in front of them. So it's important to emphasize. Now, what's changed so much, it really hasn't changed, but what's become more important than ever is how do the search engines know that you are important, that you should
Right.
rank for, what you should even rank for? Remember I said before that they visit your site. In the terms of, they do it through search robots that come in and crawl through your site. And it's the content, this is where content comes in, the rich content that you provide that describes very well not only what you do and what your products are, but what you know, that answers questions for people, that gets into the in-depth into why you and your business are the experts on whatever topic it is. Google is getting, and other search engines are getting more and more sophisticated at being able to understand that, and that helps you to rank at the right time for those things. That's the only thing, but it's the fundamental. The content has to be there, and it has to be well constructed. That's part of what we help businesses do. Now, you asked me what do we do, and let me just quickly tell my story. Before we went on the air, Al, you were noting with some surprise that on Google Plus, which is a network that some people think nobody uses, I have 58,000 followers.
Yeah, I'm blown away. I really am.
I have more than I can keep up with there. Why did I invest that much time in Google Plus? Well, Google Plus is directly connected into Google. That's all I needed to hear.
Right.
I'm a social media guy who works in a search marketing and SEO agency. When you tell me that Google has a social network that they're integrating with everything that is Google, with YouTube, with local, with maps, with everything that's Google, I need to be investigating that. I need to be a part of that. And what I did was very strategically to take the content that I was producing and produce even more of it, to research and say, what are people who look for my company's services? What are the questions that they ask? What do they want to know about? What can I help with it? Produce that content and then go out into a network like Google Plus and begin to also research and find out who are the movers and shakers, who's making it happen on this network, particularly in areas related to mine. Get that content in front of them, help them answer their questions, serve their needs. They begin to share me. They begin to send out signals to other people like, this is the guy you want to follow on this topic, and it grows. Now, let me get quickly to a bottom line on that. Why that? Does that have business value? It's had tremendous business value for us. In fact, to the point where now, even though my time is very valuable, billed out to clients for consulting, Virante is moving more and more of my time of doing what I just said to you, because it's bringing us real business. The phone rings here at Virante because people see me online and they say, that Mark Traphagen, he knows what he's talking about. Virante must be a good agency. It's building reputation, it's building authority, it's building trust.
Okay, so let's take that to a different place and a different situation. All right, we're here in the north of Boston area where our studio is, and let's say that my family has had an appliance store with 2 locations on the North Shore, I don't need all this fancy schmancy search engine optimization stuff that Mark Traphagen's talking about. I just want to sell refrigerators and dryers and oven ranges. So, do I really need to go out and create content and be at the top of the Google list? So, how do you answer a person like that?
Back not as little as 10 years ago, the answer would have been be in the yellow pages.
Right.
And the answer there would be, how do you optimize for the yellow pages? You name yourself AAA appliances or Acme appliances.
Right. Get to the
Why
top
are there
of the
so
list.
many Acme businesses? Yeah, that's all about all the optimization you could do, is that would show you up at the top of the result. Well, even then, people wanted to be at the top of the results for a category, right?
That is a great answer.
That's where you get the first calls.
Yeah.
But people don't go to the yellow pages anymore. Where do they go? Again, even for local, and especially more and more for local, they go to search. And, often where are they doing it? Nowadays, we all have one of these. We're walking around with these.
Right.
And when we search for that local, we're looking for, a restaurant, we're looking for, anything in the local area. These are all things that you can optimize for, and you can do it in much more sophisticated ways than naming yourself AAA appliances.
Right.
That's where we come in. And this has become more important than ever in the local market, because the search engines are working very hard to identify, who are the best businesses on the local level. So yeah, it is something you need to be concerned about, even if you're just a mom and pop appliance store.
So the lesson really is that even if I do have that mom and pop appliance store, that I should be blogging, a few times a week about new advances in appliances or how to best clean your oven or those kinds of things, that will put me at the top of that content list. You and I talked about a guy that we both know about named Marcus Sheridan, who calls himself the Sales Lion. And he tripped on this theory by accident several years back. And he sold swimming pools, and he learned pretty quickly that if he wrote about swimming pools in the Northern Virginia area, he would become the authority. And what he's ended up doing after all these years now is become the authority on search engine optimization and how businesses, especially the businesses that I just mentioned, the smaller businesses, can optimize that. And so there are stories out there like that. But let's take it up the food chain a little bit more now. Let's talk about some of the major companies that are out there and what it is for the executive today in the C-suite to be thinking about when it comes to how they aim their cannons towards this subject of the new marketing, of SEO, and inbound, and all the other subjects that really, orbit around search engine optimization.
Great question. Now, when we in sales, especially online sales, but it applies to everywhere, we talk about something called the sales funnel. In most cases, for most kinds of things, and especially you're talking at the level that you want to talk about now at major companies and the C-suite, people don't make a decision in a minute to buy something. If they're talking about a major service or connecting up with a contract or something like that, they're at all stages of the buying process, and there's sort of a funnel. At the top of the funnel is every possible business that they could engage with on that, and they're going to narrow that funnel down to a point where they finally are ready to make that decision, push the button and say, this is who we're going to work with. You want to be present, and part of a good search strategy is you want to be present at every part of that funnel. Now, your content and your social media presence works for you best at the top of that funnel. That's where anybody's a possibility. And as we said, for Marcus Sheridan with his pools in Virginia, what he did was produce great content that answers people's questions, because at that part of the sales funnel, people aren't saying like, okay, where do I buy a pool? They're
Right.
saying like, what's the best size pool for my yard? What about pool safety? Those are the things that are on their mind.
Sure.
That's what they're searching for then. What you want to become is top of mind. When they're at that stage, you want to be having the content get in front of them that they're seeing great content that answers that question, and then they're seeing your name connected with it, your brand name, again and again and again. And what Marcus found was that when he did that, when people came to that place where they were ready to buy, they said, well, who do I want to buy from? I want to buy from River Pools because they know what they're talking about. They helped me already. I trust them. That's the way that your content and your authority works for you all the way down the sales funnel.
So we've said the word content probably 150 times so far in our time together, but that's a problem for some people. I mean, I know a lot of people say I can't write. Well, I always say to people, based on your experience, you can tell your story and you can talk about things that you know about, and if you can't write, what you're saying is you don't know where to put commas and you don't know where to put nouns, pronouns, and adjectives and things like that. Bottom line is you can create content with the help of somebody else. So it's not an excuse to say you can't create content. In other words, a person doesn't have to sit in front of a computer and write every bit of their own content. Am I right about that, Mark?
Absolutely. You can hire good people to do it, but also think in terms of, when we talk about content these days isn't just writing an article or a blog post. It's all kinds of things. Video is a great way. And the search engines, particularly Google, and particularly if you put it on YouTube, they love video. They love to puff that up because they know people like videos.
Yeah.
We say to people sometimes when they say to us, well, I'm not a good writer. So can you talk? You've been talking to me about your business for the last 10 minutes. What if I turned on a camera and just let you do that?
Right.
You've got a video. And then from a search engine optimization standpoint, you put that video up and you get somebody to transcribe it. You can hire somebody pretty cheaply to do that. That gets the search engine optimization because now you've got the text along with the video that the search engine can read and say, oh, this is great stuff for this, connect people up with it. People like videos, they watch it, you've got a piece of content. So don't just think about writing, think of all the different kinds of content you can produce.
And content is content, and really that's what it's all about. Yeah, yeah. So if I am one of these companies that I described earlier, where I am rebuilding my marketing effort, where I have to pay a little bit of attention to what we call traditional marketing, and I've got to move forward with the new marketing. And I realize your expertise is SEO and not necessarily, and maybe it is broad-based marketing. I'm not sure, but if you were that business, where are you building up right now? What are you paying attention to?
Well, first of all, it's interesting the way you asked that question, because what we're finding is in the SEO industry is that the real professionals, which certainly Virante wants to be and tries to be, are the ones who don't just understand these technical things of how search engines work and how they rank things, but they're real marketers as well. Excuse me, real marketers. We have to understand marketing, because it's not just about doing the right technical things, but at the end of the day, I can connect people up correctly and get them to rank in search. But what happens once they're found? Again, is that content working for you? Is it really marketing your company? Are you doing good things to capture leads once you get that? If I get somebody to your site and they say, "Wow, this is a great piece of content, I'm really learning a lot about it," does at the right moment something come up that says like, "Hey, you like this? You want to learn more? Sign up here with your email address, and now I've got you on my newsletter, and I can market to you more directly and even more directly prove to you my value to you." Those kind of things, you have to be thinking like a marketer all the time. You have to be thinking again in terms of that sales funnel that I talked about, where a good marketer, a good search marketer knows where the customers are at each part of that sales funnel and what kind of things we need to be doing online to address the needs of the potential customer at each part of that. So yeah, real marketing very much does come into it.
So are the robots, if we can call them that, of search engine optimization, I mean, are they becoming more intuitive to the point where really creating the content becomes the most important activity? Because when I first got into this, I spent a lot of time worrying about keywords and making sure that things were placed the right way, including headlines and subheads and all that. Are things becoming more intuitive on Google's front?
Well, the things you mentioned, like keywords and structure of the site, structure of your content, links, those things are still important, and they're going to be important for a long time to come. But more and more, they're kind of fading into the background as the fundamentals. Like got to have those done as the fundamentals to help the search engines. But what we're coming into is an age of semantic search. And boy, that's a whole other big topic. But the cool thing and the kind of interesting thing about it is that search engines like Google are teaching their machines, teaching the algorithm that runs it to be more and more like the way we as humans make associations. We don't think about this, but if I say the word dog right now, everyone in your audience has hundreds of associations that happen in their mind with dog. And we don't even think about it. It's just natural. That's not natural for a machine. But what Google is doing is teaching the algorithm to make those connections. And it's learning it actually from as we interact online. It's seeing how the associations that we make, and it learns from those. And so here's the bottom line for you as a content producer and a content marketer. If you're producing really contextually rich content, that will more and more help the search engines to say, not only should you rank for whatever keyword you thought you were after, but here's a whole range of associated things that you probably should be showing up for as well. And that's awesome, because that's the machine making connections with people that we never would have even thought to reach out to.
Right.
So the bottom line of that, quality content is more important than ever. It's just not going to work anymore to farm your content out to some cheap $5 a paragraph writer who can't even write in good English.
Right.
That used to kind of work. Not going to work anymore.
Yeah, so there's really a lot of thought that has to be given to content in the area that you're really trying to excel in. Well, Mark, this is a subject that I can just talk to you about for hours on end. So we don't have that kind of time with our short video. Hopefully we can have you back and you can talk more about this and more about where some of our leaders need to be looking when it comes to the subject of SEO.
I'd be delighted. And sometime maybe we should have a conversation with your audience about the increasing power of individuals, of persons, how businesses are going to have to either have or find people who can be their representatives online.
Well, that's
there's a whole
yeah, that's
interpersonal
an
authority.
interesting point because what's your title at your company?
Director of Digital Outreach.
Director of Digital Outreach. So it almost sounds a little bit like like an evangelist. It's like you've got the pulpit and you're the preacher and you're going to fill the seats in the church. So that's kind of an interesting thing that your company has allowed you now to kind of front them and be out there with 58,000 Google Plus followers. I am just astounded by that. Like you, I have recognized the importance of Google Plus, but I think I'm at about 58, so I got to catch up to you just a little bit more.
Yeah, it's just keep doing that 1,000 times over. You're there.
I'm there. That's it. That's all it is. Well, Mark, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on the show today. How can we reach you if we want to find out more about Mark and more about your company?
Well, the primary way to find me, Google Plus is my kind of home social network. If you search for Mark Traphagen on there, I'm the only Mark Traphagen that ranks on Google Plus. So Traphagen, find me there. On Twitter as my name, at Mark Traphagen, or just reach me at come to virante.org and you'll find us there.
All right, great. Well, Mark, thank you so much for being a guest on Lead or Be Led, and we want to have you back here in the future, so we'll talk again.
I'd love to do that, Al. Thanks for having me.
Super, thanks. Well, folks, I got to tell you, that wraps up a fascinating episode of Leader Be Led. It's fascinating because, even though you might not completely understand it yet, you're going to need to as a leader in your organization. No matter how big or small it is, search engine optimization is here to stay. I love how Mark held up his mobile phone because we are all there in this space right now. We have to have our mobile phones in our hand, and they help us find all types of information. And what drives that is the SEO. So it couldn't be a more important topic as we head into this age of new marketing that we're in. Well, with that, I want to thank you for being here today. If you have comments about the show, please, right below on YouTube or on our website, you can make comments. We'd love you to share what you're seeing today. Sharing what this is all about. If you enjoyed the discussion that Mark brought forward today, please tweet it. Please put it on Google+, on Facebook, on Pinterest, any place that you are anchored in your social media. We would really enjoy that and having you help us spread the word of what we're doing here in Leader Be Led. So with that, I want to thank you all very much for being here. My name is Al Getler, and until next time, this is Leader Be Led. Take care.